Grandmaster, and I'll be trying to play today some Banter Blitz against all of Chess24 users, the premium members. I see already we have a lot of users in our chat, and I have a lot of challenges. Just to tell you a few things before we kick off with the first game. Actually, just to remember you that Norway Chess is starting very soon in a few days, and we are gonna have a live commentary from Norway with Jan Gustafsson and Peter Philidor, so just don't miss that. And then a lot of things going on, the Dubai Open, you can follow the games in Chess24, also the USA Championships, etc, etc. Alright, so I will start playing some Banter Blitz, as I told you guys, and I see I already have some challenges. So let's just start and pick some users. Alright, so Capo Blanco. Let's see. Alright, so I have the black pieces. Are you there, Capo Blanco 14? Otherwise, I will have to abort the game, as you guys know. Yeah, I think he's not here, so first game that we try to play, our opponent is not there, so let's pick another opponent. Okay, for example, Albert 1995. So I got the white pieces. Let's start with an English opening, one of my favorite openings. I'm very trendy nowadays. You saw many games in the candidates tournament. People are telling me that the sound is fine, that everything is fine, the video is fine, so we are ready to start playing some chess, but we need two people, yeah? So just me is gonna be a bit boring, yeah? So, okay, he's here, so c4, e6, I'm gonna go d4 and knight f3. I'll try to play the Catalan, he plays knight f6. I will just go g3, okay, c6. Alright, I'll just go, for example, queen to b3. This is not the main move, but it's quite interesting. D takes c4 and then queen takes c4. I'm gonna go probably g3, trying to develop my bishop via g2, b5. Alright, so I'll just go queen to d3. Now my idea, of course, is just to occupy the center with my pawn with e4. Yeah, now that he took on c4, then I have a lot of space in the center. I can make use of it. So e4, he's trying to go something like c5 in the next move, right? So I'll just try to develop some pieces. Let's say knight to c3. He goes c5. I can think I'm taking on c5. I can just develop my pieces with bishop e2, for example. All right, I'll just try bishop e2, for example. And then c4, I can just go queen c2 and b4, knight to a4, right? My next move probably is going to be castles. Alright, so c takes d4, I'll just go knight takes d4. e5 is not a problem since our queen is defended, so e5 I can just go, for example, knight f5, right? Yeah, knight c6. Now, what to do? Alright, so I would think maybe I can take on c6. This leads to nothing special. Or I can play bishop e3 as well. I will just try bishop e3 in this position. If knight e5, I can just go back to c2, for example. And then the c4 square is still controlled from my bishop on e2, so still not a problem. So knight e5, queen c2, he cannot jump to c4. I can just take on c4, I guess. So let's just try queen c2. The problem is that he can come rook to c8 in this position, yeah? So maybe it's a good option. I'll just go queen to c2. Maybe after rook c8, I can also try to go rook to d1. b4 is still not possible. I mean, it's possible, but there's always queen to a4 check. So it's not the end of the world. So rook d1 maybe is interesting. And after b4, even knight takes e6, this kind of discover move, it's quite interesting. So I'll just go rook d1. Yeah, why not? If queen a5, maybe knight b3, winning a tempo. The queen doesn't have any proper squares, right? And we're leading in development. We're almost developed all our pieces. Yeah, as you guys know, I see there are a lot of people in the chat speaking in English and Spanish. Yeah, just feel free to speak in Spanish as well. I can answer your questions in Spanish. or English. So knight to b3 I think is quite good now, because we force him to go back to c7, I guess. There's no other square for the queen, yeah. Maybe we should stop b4 in the next move, because b4 is coming, right? And yeah, b4 is quite annoying in this position. Yeah, b4 is quite annoying, so maybe a3. I'll just try a3 here. Okay, b4 he can still play b4, a takes, bishop takes, and then castles, and then I think we are much better, because we are leading in development. Bishop takes c3. I think this kind of moves will never work. It just opens too much the position, yeah. So let's see if what I say it's true or not, or if I'm just a liar, just a bad liar. I can just castles. That was my idea. So if he takes on c3 now, I just take with my pawn, and then basically queen takes c3, I think it's not working. Just queen a2 could be interesting, just threatening this kind of moves with rook c1. But of course, he should try to develop with knight f6. Now he wants to take on e4 maybe. Maybe it's time to think playing something like f3, just defending this guy here, or even f4 and e5. Looks interesting, but the problem is knight to g4 is a bit of a problem, right, in this position. So I'll just go f3 and then see what happens. Then maybe castles, and then I can just play maybe rook c1 defending this c3 knight, or bishop d4 even is an option, but I'm not quite sure. I'll just talk too much during the games. I just want you to guys to see what's going on in my mind all the time. So it's not that important if I win or if I lose so many games. Probably I will lose many. But I want you to see what comes to my mind. I'm a bit slow because speaking in English is not an easy task for Spanish guys, as you guys know. And yeah, rook c1, still the position is quite interesting. So maybe something like queen to b1. Now just maybe trying to go knight a4 using the c5 square. Actually, this looks like a really interesting plan. Just going queen to b1. I will just do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, queen to b1. And then my idea is actually just go knight to a4 and then knight to c5. Could be a little bit annoying for black, since this we could put some pressure on the b7 bishop. It's not the best bishop because it actually hits with this white pawn structure on e4 and f3, right? Yeah, the problem is if he could change this dark squares bishop would be great. I mean, something, if he could place bishop c5 in this position would be extremely great for him, because he will control all the dark squares, but still not possible. So I will just go, I think, bishop to f2, keeping this beautiful bishop on f2, and then there's not knight d2 because the b3 knight controls everything. And now I want to go again this knight to a4, putting some pressure on the c4 knight, and then aiming to go knight to c5 in the next move, yeah. So maybe it's time to go knight to a4. He wants to go knight to d2, I guess. So let's just try to avoid this. So knight to a4, or even rook d1 looks interesting. Rook d1 or knight a4. I need to decide now. I need to decide something good, yeah? All right, so let's think a little bit. I will just go maybe rook to c2 in order to avoid this jump to d2. So I was a little bit afraid of the knight a4, knight d2, exchanging this pair of knights and then just bringing the rook to the 7th rank. So yeah, my next move, hopefully, if he doesn't do anything concrete, knight a4, and then this knight on c4 will be target, and then he will have to go back probably with this knight. Then I will have the opportunity to jump with my knight to c5, yeah? Rook d7, now it's even more interesting to jump to c5, because we will jump with a tempo here in this rook on d7, right? And then this knight on c4, I don't see any proper square. Maybe knight to a5 is a move, but we could even think of jumping to c5 with our b knight, right? Knight to a5 is the move that he played, so knight to c5, it's my move. Now he has to think what to do with this rook, actually. Rook to c7 looks to me like a natural move. Then I can just bring my other rook here. Just now I can actually take on b7 if necessary, because the rook on c2 is well defended. Other move is just knight to d3. Okay, this is just a piece for free, and I love food for free, so I'll just take this knight on b3 and then recapture on c2 with my rook. and then I think we should win this game. So people are asking me, what rating do you think should be possible to start a professional chess career? All right, I mean, you can even have a low rating and actually to be a coach, for example. I know, so actually I'm not a professional chess player. I have my job at I'm a PhD student at the University of Hamburg. I'm finishing my PhD soon, when I'm 2500. I know a lot of professionals that they just have they just have 2200 and they teach a lot, they coach a lot. But if you want to live with just with money from leagues or something like this or tournaments, I think maybe 2600 is a reasonable amount of elo. Yeah. So, all right, I play the English opening, one of my favorite openings, e3, and then followed by knight g2, e2. Just, yeah, next move is of course castles, and then we have some control over the d5 square, so he cannot go d5. One of the ideas is to go bishop e6, precisely trying to go d5, but I won't allow this, just installing my beautiful Corcel on d5, right? And then if after bishop takes, of course, he takes d5, and then it should be fine. But I'm gonna go d3 here in this position. He can still, he could think of playing bishop h3 here, but actually the c7 pawn is still weak. But I think he can do that because after bishop takes, queen takes, knight c7, there is beautiful knight to g4. I will just go rook e1. One of the ideas of rook e1 is after bishop h3, I just want to go bishop h1, sorry, difficult pronunciation for me. Just trying to avoid this exchange of knights. Okay, knight to b8 is actually a strange move. He wants to. It's not that strange because he wants to kick my knight back from d5. But I'll just go now d4. Now that his knight is just back, I will just take on e7, winning the bishop pair, and this position can never be too bad, right? Now there are some interesting plans. For example, bishop a3, aiming to open this diagonal after some d takes e5 or something like this, or bishop b2, even putting some pressure on the e5 pawn. I'm always a little bit concerned about this e4 moves, where actually black can try to play for the f3 square. But okay, this shouldn't be any problem. Now I like basically taking with any piece here. So I will just try to take with what? With my knight maybe, or my pawn. With my knight maybe d5 is a little bit annoying, so I will just take with my pawn. If d5, I can always have the choice of closing the position with c5. Still we have the bishop pair. Knight f4 is a move. d5 is a threat in some positions where the rook because of the queen that is pinned on e5. On e7. Jopino is telling me, please Pepe, accept me, otherwise I'll kick your ass. All right, there are a lot of challenges, guys, so I cannot pay attention to anyone. I just try to play with everyone. Okay, bishop to g4, that's clearly a mistake because after f3 we are winning a piece since the queen is attacked, and also the bishop on g4. So this is free food, free material, and this is the first shotgun. F3 winning a piece. So I'll just take this guy here. I love free food, free pieces. And now it's time to think how to win this game. Yeah, so maybe I'll just move my bishop to b2. Still the e3 square is controlled. And then maybe just queen to d3. Or even bishop h3 is an interesting move. Yeah, actually bishop h3 was really good. But okay, queen to d3. One of the problems when we are a piece up in chess, we stop thinking. Yeah, and we think that we can win in any way. And that's actually one of the problems. For me at least, I just guessed, yeah, I don't worry too much about the position anymore, and then suddenly, boom! Okay, d5 is natural, then this bishop on b2 is actually a monster. d5 is actually quite interesting, yeah? So maybe now rook e8. Alright, so I'll just, one of the policy I have when I have I am material up is just to exchange everything, to cut every tree in the forest, yeah? So queen e2 offering the exchange of pieces. Now after queen d7 there is this beautiful move bishop h3, just pinning the knight, and then f5 will give us the e6 square for another exchange. As I told you guys, is my favorite thing. So I will just exchange everything. Queen e6 check, give me your pawns, give me your pieces, baby, and then I will just this position is completely won. Yeah, I will just take on g7, then just go back to f5, gaining this pawn on d6. Yeah, more free food, more vitamins for us. So I'll just take this guy and then king f2, then maybe knight to e3 or something like this. Yeah, this shouldn't be a problem, right? Bring my king to e4 and then, yeah, this is over, yeah? All right, king to d3, king to e4, and king to f5. This is gone. Give me your pawns, baby. Give me your pawns. d6, I want a queen. I want a queen. It's gonna be a queen, yeah? All right, thank you very much, Sandops, for the game. And we'll play against Aldisto, a user from where? Let me check from where he is, from Germany. A lot of German users in Chess24. I can see, actually living in Hamburg, so I have German already. But it's the most difficult language I ever had to deal with. This German is killing me. I think life is too short to learn German. And okay, I'll just play now the Catalan. Yeah, actually I recorded a video series about the Catalan in Chess24, but it's in Spanish. It's the only problem for the English speakers, guys. So yeah, I will just go queen c2. One of the ideas actually to break on e4, just putting a knight on d2 first. So that is what I will do. Maybe e5 here is a good move. Maybe e5 here is a good move. Now I will just go e4, then try to break in the center, trying to win some space. One of the problems in the Catalan for black here is actually this little sad bishop on c8, yeah? So I'll just go queen to c2, and then of course not easy to get this bishop out of the pawn chain, yeah? It's a little bit trapped. c5 is one of the ideas. Of course, this will give us some chances like 3 versus 2, a majority on the queen side, but still. All right, so how do we play against this? I would love to go something like bishop e3, but then I will just go rook e1. Rook e1, and then after c takes, knight takes e4. There's a little trick. I want to go knight f5 and win the bishop pair, yeah? Queen to c7. All right, so what to do now? I think it's good to... What is good here? Maybe just something like a3. Now my idea is just to go d takes c5 and b4. Of course, there's black still can deal with this, but people say they're all here just to hear baboom. There will be some babooms, don't worry. If I manage to win some beautiful games. Okay, b4, I think it's a good move. Yeah, it's winning a lot of space actually. And after bishop d6, actually, c5 and then bishop f4, I think this position is extremely good for white, yeah? So now what to do? I would love to go something like, okay, bishop f4, forcing bishop d6, and then maybe bishop g5, yeah? Now one of the ideas is just to play c5 and then bishop f4, if the bishop goes back to e7. The problem is actually black can try now to play b6, that actually stops c5 and then also prepares bishop b7, just solving this problem. All right, so I just set a little trap, just rook ad1, looks innocent, but now I just want to go bishop f4, boom, yeah, would be great. Pepe, can you play the Fried Fox opening? What the hell is that? The Fried Fox opening is the first time I hear. So bishop f4, I just grabbed this exchange on b8. So actually he fell in my trap. I am quite happy today. So he fell in my trap. Now I'm gonna take on b8 and then of course try to activate my knight in e5, just opening this beautiful diagonal for my bishop on g2, yeah. So knight to e5 and then he cannot come to c6. Would be a great diagonal for this knight, but now c5, for example, winning more space and then gaining more space, knight to c4, knight to d6. These kind of ideas are quite interesting in this position. Even c6 is also interesting move. He cannot go knight to d5, actually blocking, because I can just take this guy. a5, all right. This I will just go this knight to c4, just trying to jump to d6, of course. Okay, bishop b5, now knight to d6. He takes, I will just take back with the rook, for example. Yeah, this position is almost winning. And now maybe rook to d1, maybe queen to d2, and then rook d8, exchanging everything, yeah? So I will go queen to d2. My next move, of course, as you guys know, cutting every tree in the forest. Rook d8 check. Rook d8 check. Give me that rook, baby. And all right, I will just this actually doesn't avoid the exchange of pieces, because now I have queen to d8. He cannot take on d1 because the queen is hanging. So after queen d8, just rook d8. Of course, this position is completely won. I just need to play fast enough because I'm just so damn slow in this with this mouth. With this mouse, not with this mouth. With this mouth, actually, I'm quite fast. In Spanish, even more. Yeah. So, all right. So this is a queen. Yeah, this is a queen. I'll go c6, c7, and c8. Then nothing to do. I'll just take on d5 and then c7, bishop d7, c8. Give me. He thinks he's gonna make a queen, but this is not going to happen. Bishop b7 here. And yeah, bishop d5 here, and okay, let's go to grab these pawns. Okay, bishop h7, and now king f5, king to g6, grabbing some material. Give me your pawns, baby. Give me your pawns. h4, that's a queen sooner or later, yeah. And now f4, bringing the Facundo pawn. We used to call this we used to call the F on Facundo in Spanish. I still don't have a name for the name in English, but we should find one. So let's upset Miguel Marino. He was before, you guys know, I was recording the Spanish Banter Blitz just before this session. Miguel Marino is playing today in his first Banter Blitz session, so let's see, he crushes me. As you guys know, I'm missing the match, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid Champions League. I don't know why I decided to put Banter Blitz when the football match starts, yeah, and a bit crazy. So probably a lot of you guys are watching this football match, but yeah, maybe with two screens, just trying to learn some chess as well. All right, so e4, are you here, Miguel Marino, or you are not? If you are not here, I will have to abort the game, sadly, and then trying to find another opponent, yeah? So let's abort this game, and then let's pick another opponent. Let's say, for example, Vulcan 1961. Yeah, all right, so let's go e4. I wanted to go e4 in the previous game, so let's just try e4, d5, Scandinavian opening. I'll just go knight c3, then queen to d6. All right, I'll just go d4, and then I remember I played against a game against Tibiakov where I played actually knight to b5. I think this is possible. Actually, I drew that game, so shouldn't be that bad. The idea is actually you want to go c4 and then bring your knight back to c3. There are some crazy lines here with e5 in this position straight away, but actually, okay, c6, this is what I was aiming for. Now I bring my knight to c3, then I want some space in the center. Of course, now I want to develop my knight to f3, bishop e2, so this kind of stuff, short castles, and yeah, maybe, yeah, bishop e2. Now I think, if I remember well, after bishop e7, I can try something like knight to h4, just winning the bishop pair. So I'll just go short castles here. Maybe it was not the best idea, since still he didn't castle short side, and then maybe the h file could be a little bit dangerous for. But since he didn't develop so much, maybe it's interesting just to go d5 here in this position, just trying to open everything. But not so sure about that, so I'll just go bishop e3, then wait for to see what he does. Okay, bishop e7, and then rook c1. Then, if he castles short side, then I will take on g6. I have no doubt about that. But if he castles long side, then it's risky. Actually, it's not so risky. I can just take on g6 and then play h3. But then you need to think at least. There are some ideas with g5, g4 in some positions. I would like to end up defending some crazy attack from black side, but I think it's good enough. I mean, I can just take on g6 and then h3, and then d5 is coming. This break, it could be really interesting. And yes, for those people who are asking if you can challenge me, being you can just challenge me. Being a premium member is just one of the advantages for premium members, of course. As well, we have a lot of videos. I mean, I know it's not that interesting to play against me, but you can play against Jan Gustafsson or Peter Schmilder, this kind of people, yeah, that they can play some chess. So knight b6, I will just go something like even d5. I think it's really possible. But okay, I'll just go h3. Just being prophylactic, so I can take on g6 and then no need to play. All right, then for sure I will take on g6 now that it's not dangerous anymore to the h file. So a4 is an interesting move. I want to go a5, gaining more space, and now maybe queen to b3. Yeah, queen to b3. Actually, d5 now could be a threat because the b6 knight is hanging. So Giopino is asking me when you accept my challenge. I will accept your challenge pretty soon. Guys, there are a lot of people, so... Alright, knight a2, I'm forcing him back to e7, because d6 is not possible because of c5. Still possible because there is some nice check on h2, but still, I think he will go bishop e7, and then maybe, and just maybe d5. This little beautiful move just to open the position for my bishop pair. Just one general advice for you guys: when you are playing with the bishop pair, you should aim for open positions. Open positions, and where you have yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. All right, I will just go d5 here. Of course, he cannot take on c5 because bishop takes b6 is just winning on the spot, so he needs to do something about that. Maybe c5 is just a terrible move, I think, strategically talking, because then my knight comes to c3 and there's some nice square on b5. The move that I like here maybe is e takes d. No, he cannot take on d5, so maybe it's already good for white, since the next move will be taking on e6 and ruin the black structure there on the king side. Yeah. So that's right. Retap is saying it's right. I cannot accept all the challenges in 1 second. Yeah. So you guys have to be a little bit patient. I know everybody wants to crush me, but all right. I will just take on e6 and then just bring my knight to c3. Yeah, this looks extremely good for white. Yeah. Now my knight comes to b5, then maybe bishop f3. So still we have control in the king side, so no attack is going on. Knight to b5, bring a rook to d1 maybe. This queen, it doesn't have a proper square. If he goes to c6, then bishop f3 is a really terrible move for black here. Rook d8. All right, so yeah, what to do now? I will, yeah, well, if you can jump attacking the queen, who's not gonna do this? Yeah. Especially if you're a beginner, when you can attack the queen, you always do. Yeah. And my father, he's also a beginner, of course. And then whenever he can take a piece, he can exchange something, he does it. Yeah. So one of the most common mistakes for beginners is when there is some exchange of pieces, you just go for it. Yeah. All right, no patient. He's saying random user. He wants to crush me now. Not he doesn't accept anything else. All right, so I think there's some nice trick. I would love to go bishop f4 and then followed by knight a7, just winning a piece. I don't know if it's the best move, but I will just try because yeah, I'm a very tricky guy. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't work. After knight e4, I have some queen e3, so it's not a problem. So my idea now is just to jump on a7. And then the c7 square is not available for the queen. The c6 square would not be available for the queen, so I will just grab this knight. Of course, he can do something about that. He can play knight d7 or knight d7, actually not, because knight a... Okay, anyway, the position is good for white. What I meant is after this knight e4, I can just go queen to e3, defending this f4 bishop and attacking this knight. Maybe I'm ready now to go something like b3. Or maybe bishop h2 was good move, yeah. So what to do now? There's no interesting square for this knight. Maybe he just has to go back to f6, yeah. And then I can still improve my position. Bishop f3 and then rook e1, maybe b3, controlling defending the a4 pawn. This stuff like this, yeah. Knight to d6. All right, this is a possible move, of course. Yeah, what to do now? Maybe I can just try to go bishop g4. Yeah, this is a terrible move for him because now he has to deal with the threat of bishop takes c6, winning the queen on the spot. Yeah, so maybe after rook f6 there are some moves like bishop g5 coming. It's not that easy anymore to defend this guy on e6. So he decides to go back to f5, and then maybe, and just maybe, we are just gonna go to e4, actually. Maybe he wants to take on b3, so I'll just go back to b3. Why not? And then again the same trick. I want to go knight to a7 in this position. So yeah, so not easy to make a move here with black pieces. I wouldn't be happy in this position with black. Yeah, so many threats that you need to deal with. The e6 pawn, then the b6 knight. The queen is just so sad. There is nothing to do. There's no party on c8. There's no music. There's no dance. No salsa on c8. Alright, so I'll just take this guy here on d4. And then after rook takes, now I have to deal with the f4 bishop. But you guys see these little tactics. I can just take on b6, I guess, because bishop e6 is coming in the next move. So after rook takes f4, boom, ba boom, ra da 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 da. Bishop takes e6, winning the queen on the spot. Yeah, and this means that we won the game. Yeah. Alright, so let's accept the challenge from some people. I see a lot of challenges here. So who is next? Random guy, Ajedrecista Leon, Jakub. Let's accept the challenge from Jakub. He's been waiting a lot from the first premium Banter Blitz in Spanish. So let's play against Jakub. I think he's a Spanish player. Alright, e5, g3. I like this kind of English opening. Bishop g2, knight c6, knight c3, then bishop b4. Alright, so I will just go knight f3. Actually, you guys saw this opening many times in the candidates. This bishop c3 was played in many occasions. And now maybe, and just now maybe, just knight to d5, this e4 and then knight h4. We saw so many crazy games from, for example, from Anand and Nakamura, where Nakamura beat quite badly Anand. So I'll just go d3 here. Maybe just bishop g5 is already a threat, yeah? So that's why he went for h6, and I'll just do the normal stuff that we normally do in the English Open, and just try to win some space on the queen side. Just b4, b5, opening this beautiful diagonal for my bishop on g2. Yeah. What's the best defense against d4? There are so many choices, guys, that you can choose. For example, I like a lot the King's Indian, but of course there are many choices that you can actually play. Almost every opening is playable. Okay, maybe in the top players, maybe in the elite tournaments, maybe okay, they don't play so many openings, just more or less they repeat a lot of them. But in our level, in normal grandmaster level or in beginner level, everything is just playable. Yeah, that's at least what I think. So now I will just put some pressure on the c7 pawn. It looks quite tasty, so I will just try to place rook c1. The rook on b1 is not doing anything anymore. Yeah, and actually what people are saying in the chat is true. It's all about your preference, yeah? So I'll just take on c6, and then he allows me, there's some beautiful pawn here on f7. Actually, I don't know if I should take it, but looks like it's quite tasty. So after bishop e6, I just have the move queen to h5. So I think I'll just grab it and then see what happens. So if I lose this game, what can I do? I'll just lose the game, yeah? So queen to h5, I don't see anything concrete. Okay, he can take on a2, but that's not the end of the world. I prefer the f7 pawn than the a2 pawn, yeah? And now many interesting moves. Knight to g5 is quite interesting. For example, just rook a1, just winning a tempo, yeah? Rook b2. I'll just go rook a1 to see where he goes. If he goes to e6 now, knight to g5 is even more interesting because we hit this guy. Okay, he goes to the more interesting square, actually bishop g8, and now maybe knight h4 not only gives on free space to my queen, but also, or maybe b5 first. Maybe b5 first. No, I'll just go knight to h4. Okay, it's pretty late. It's 10:20. I start to see less things in the chessboard. But I hope I'm not blundering anything. So yeah, of course I want to jump to g6 at some point and bishop e4, and then will be more or less checkmate soon. Yeah. So many tries now for black. He can go knight e7 to avoid this, or bishop to g6. But of course knight g6 looks extremely good now, or even bishop e4. I will just go knight g6 check. If he takes, just pre-move on g6, and now of course I want to go bishop e4. So probably he has to go queen f6 or knight e7, and now it's my turn. So what should I do in this position? I will just go back. I want to keep the queens on the board, even though of course the endgame was extremely good for white, because we had the bishop pair, and then all right. So I will just go e3 maybe. Yeah, I'll just go e3. I don't want this knight jumping to d4, so let's just control this square. And then he wants to go d5, so let's not allow this. Just playing prophylactically in this moment. So I'll just go. Now I think I won't avoid the endgame anymore. I think it's just really good for us. Maybe I just blunder a pawn, but I think I can just get it back with rook f8. Yeah, so after queen d5. Now my idea is actually let's keep the queens in the board. So now actually has to deal with this b7 pawn. It's not that easy. Yeah, actually I also you guys are asking about the Budapest gambit. Actually I also record a series about this, so you can actually take a look as well. So this is a free pawn. I mean, I don't want to calculate so much, so I'll just grab it and then just to play this position with a pawn up, and then bring my rooks to the a files. Also exchanging pieces is, you know, guys, is my policy. Cutting every tree in the forest. So just rook a8, exchanging another piece would be good enough, I think. And then, okay, maybe that was not the best move. Because okay, yeah, I think it's good enough, but all right. Okay, let's give some check on e4, and then maybe just play king to g2, something like this. He wants to go d5, so I'm not quite sure. I'll just go d4, so we prevent d5 because the e5 pawn is hanging. So yeah, d4 is quite good. Now we want to take on e5 and then play bishop c3, putting some pressure on the e5 pawn. Yeah. Yeah, rook f5, and then I'll just take this guy here on e5. If he takes with the rook, I'll just go back to d3, for example, or to c2 even, or even a check on b7 looks quite interesting. And now, just now, it's time to bring pieces to the action. Rook b7 is coming, just exchanging more pieces. Maybe rook f7, maybe can play also h4. All right, see, he put some pressure on the f2 pawn. I'll just defend this with bishop e1, quite solid move, and then we start thinking on improving our position with rook g7, maybe h4, maybe king g2. Let's just avoid all kind of moves like h4, h3, this kind of stuff. Next move probably is just rook b7. Still not quite sure how I'm gonna win this game. It's not so simple. He's got a fortress there on the king side, so I need to find something concrete, and I don't see anything concrete yet. But maybe exchanging pieces is the good idea. So something like queen to d5, and okay, queen to d6. This is actually quite interesting move. He wants to go back basically to d1. So let's just go back. Oh, sorry, I just moved the board a little bit. Yeah, now you guys can see properly. Yeah, queen to d7, and now it's time to think improving the position. Yeah. So all right, let's play queen to c2. Just bring the rook to d1. Then maybe bring the bishop to c3. Not so sure how I'm gonna win this game. Yeah. All right, rook to d1. The e4 square was actually perfect for the queen. So maybe he would love to use this diagonal. I'll just go queen to e4 again, maybe queen to d5, bishop c3. He's gonna come to f6 with the queen. I need to find something concrete, guys, in this position. All right, so now queen to d5 looks to me like a good move, managing to exchange the queens because he has to deal with the f7 rook. and then therefore this endgame should be extremely good for us. So my plan is now bishop c3. I want to bring my king to e4 and then just take this guy. So I'll just do that. Need to be a little bit careful though, because actually the bishop on c3 is hanging, so bishop f3 was losing because of e4 check. So now I would love to go actually king f3 in this position, because after king d6 maybe bishop b4 is fine, just trying to thread some discover moves. And now king to e4, and I don't see how he's gonna deal with the e5 pawn. I think I'll just take it in the next move. Take it, this guy. So rook d6, give me your pawns, baby. Give me your pawns. And then just this game should be winning, yeah? So king f4, f3, e4, yeah? This kind of moves. Probably he has to go back to d6. Otherwise, we just push our little friends. Okay, g4, takes, and then check on the 7th rank, taking this guy on g6, and now probably just going king h5, for example, then g5, yeah. So this position is completely won, yeah, this rook endgame. So thank you very much, Yakuf, for the game. We have more challenges. So let's upset the challenge from Luke, for example. Where are you from, Luke? I'm just gonna check to see where the people come from. Another German user, a lot of German people. So I'll just go e4 now, trying to be a little bit more aggressive. Penalty! Guys, just tell me in the chat what's going on in the match between Barcelona and Atletico. What's the score first, and second, if it's true that there's a penalty now. Yeah, people are asking me if I will record English openings one day. Probably yes. Probably yes. All right. So thank you, Mick Tal, for that comment. All right. He plays d6, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, a6. We have a Najdorf defense. And then I will just play h3. This is one of the most trendy lines against the Najdorf, yeah. So the idea is pretty simple, just to go g4. I'll just go, and then to win some space on the king side, and then just to attack like crazy there. So yeah, my next move is maybe bishop g2 or even knight d to e2. This is kind of natural here. I will just go knight to e2. Maybe it's not the best move, but I just like it. Then next move, bishop g2, short castles, or maybe bishop e3, followed by queen d2, f4, g5, h4, h5, g6, getting crazy there. Probably it's not gonna happen, but I'm happy thinking on that. So 2-0 from Atletico de Madrid, beating Barcelona in this moment, and actually it's qualified for the next, for the last 4 in the Champions League. Pretty amazing, yeah? So, all right, bishop g2. I'll try to commentate how to play this kind of positions. So there are two basic ideas here. So one is just to castle long side. The other one is just to castle short side. Since the c4 square is not that well covered, I will prefer to castle short side. All right, so maybe h5 is an interesting move. That's maybe what's he aiming for. I'll just go knight g3 just to prevent this kind of h5 possible moves. All right, so one of the ideas here is just to, in the Sicilian, I mean general, when the bishop is in b7, just try to go g5, h5, and then break with g6. But this is when a knight is on d4, yeah? I'll just go short castles here and then see what happens. Maybe bishop e3, b3 to control the c4 square. Some knight jumps to e5 or to b6. This is pretty standard. Yeah. All right. So maybe b5 is the natural way of playing for black here in this position. So maybe it's time to be a little bit prophylactic and just try to play a4 just to prevent b5. So let's see what he does. b6, and then I'll just go queen to bishop e3 maybe. He allows me, I will just go queen to d2. Now a move that is a bit annoying is knight to e5 because I cannot play b3. But then, All right, maybe it's time to go f4. Yeah, let's push Facundo. Facundo comes to the attack. Yeah, Facundo comes to attack the black player. So knight a5 is quite interesting here. Of course, black play should be related to control the c4 with a knight, because he cannot break with b5, he cannot break with d5. So I think black's play should be focused on the c file and on the c4 square. Now, okay, he's not doing that, so I'll just go queen to d2. Now after knight a5, b3 is possible. Okay, knight to c5, putting some pressure on the e4 pawn. I will just remove this king from, normally it's not proper diagonal to be. All right, so knight to a5. This is the move that was a bit annoying. b4 is not possible because of knight c4, so I think it's time to go b3. And then maybe remove this knight from c3, maybe just bring it to... the problem is when we remove the knight from c3, we stop getting control of the d5 square. So that's why I wouldn't like to do this, but maybe just knight e2, then knight to d4 maybe. And we can always close the position if black tries to open with d5. We can always close it with e5. This should be more than good for us. So knight d4, of course d5 I'll just close with e5, then f5 is coming, rook a1, just all my pawns are dancing like crazy. I don't wanna take on c6 or exchange any piece, but the problem is I remove my knight to e2, d5 now is strong, because e5 he can reply with what? What am I saying? I'm getting crazy. I'll just move rook a1. I know Facundo is not a cool name in English. I know it just works in Spanish, yeah? So we used to call Fiona Pawn when Fiona was broadcasting here. So what is my favorite player in the top 10? I would say Carlsen. But it's an easy choice, yeah? But besides from Carlsen, I like a lot, for example, Fabiano Caruana, for example. Okay, bishop h4. I completely missed this move. Now it's a bit annoying because the e4 pawn is hanging. So what to do here? Maybe I just have to give the bishop pair, and I would like to do this. Maybe knight h5 is quite interesting, but e5 is quite annoying, yeah? e5 is quite annoying there. So actually I have no clue what to do here. Actually, I have no clue. My position doesn't look so good anymore. And it's time to think about equalizing here. Okay, I'll just take on c5. It's not... it's a terrible move, actually. But queen takes c5 is good enough. Knight h5, queen c2. Then I can try queen to d4, just aiming for some tricks on the king side. Of course, Rapport. I really love a style of Rapport, yeah? He's really creative player. And now it's time to think of how I'm gonna deal with this, yeah? Because knight h5 allows g6. And then my knight is trapped, yeah? So what to do otherwise? I think I'm just much worse here. So bishop c5 was terrible. Now it's time to trick him. So how do we trick him? How do we trick this guy? Let me just think for a bit. I will just try to make the position a bit crazy. After g6, f5, I know I'm blundering a piece, but f5 just trying to open the position up and then to try to find some tricks. Yeah, so g6, s5, okay, he didn't see that, so which is good. Now queen to d4 is actually interesting move because I want to give checkmate in one move. This would be a really baboon, but he's not gonna allow that. So f6, for example, and then I can take on b6. The position is not that bad anymore. All right, the e4 pawn is hanging. This is something I completely missed. But for example, I can try after f6, something like g5. I need to open lines. I need to create some tricks. Otherwise, I'm just losing, yeah? So g5, let's open some lines. Now g takes f6 is a threat, of course, and he needs to deal with this. I think e5 is a good move. But still, the position is quite unclear now, because I can just go back to e3. All right, he plays queen to c3, and then Actually, I can check on b6 because the e4 pawn now is not attacked. So yeah. Some now. Oh, whoa! I completely missed this. But I think I can just take. Yeah, I can just take. I'm not really sure because queen h3, king g1, queen g4, and then there's some rook c2. It's pretty annoying. So this rook c2. Anyway, I'll try this. I'll go for it, guys. Maybe I'm getting mate in 2 moves. I'm getting mates in 2 moves, maybe, but queen g4, bishop g2, rook c2, queen b7, defending the g2 bishop, and then also attacking the g7 pawn. This is getting crazy, but I think it's much better after queen g4 and queen takes h5. But at least it's not checkmate. I could take back on d6 maybe, and then I will just take on d6. Give me your pawns, baby, and then e6 is also attacked. He's got just 19 seconds, and then I'll just take boom. Queen to e6, give me your pawns, give me your rooks, baby, and then check here, and this is checkmate. All right, so we managed the 2-2. What's the score? Okay, wow, goal from Messi. Goal. No, this is chess, guys. Yeah. So, all right, let's really nice game from Luke. You were crushing me, and then I'm gonna accept Race Murphy. I'm gonna accept in the challenges in order. So the guys who challenged me in advance, so they have the opportunity to play against me. So I will just go see if I'll just try to accelerate it dragon. So with g6, one of the recipes, the best recipe against the dragon. One if the Alapin is quite interesting. The other one is just the Maroxy variation against the dragon. Yeah. So I know, Droslu. I know. All right. So bishop g7. And all right, I would just take on c3, just short castles and d6. Yeah, this is standard way of playing against this structure. Just queen to d6, just develop my knight on c6, and then maybe bishop g4, trying to break with e5. So draw Gunsters Anish is betting that he can draw against me. Of course, now I'll give you the opportunity. I will give you the opportunity to draw against me. So what to play now? Maybe b6 followed by bishop b7 is quite interesting. I'll just try that. Maybe c4 is the move he wants to play, yeah? Maybe c4 is the move he wants to play. So, all right, so what to do now? I'll just go bishop g4 here. I need to play fast. I'm playing really slow. I'll just take here and then play knight a5, aiming to control the c4 square. I know we gave out the bishop pair, but we have nice control over this hanging pawn, so the rook can come to c8. I'll just go b6 here, then bring a rook to c8, then maybe put a knight. Wow! I just blundered the exchange, yeah? I just blundered the exchange. I told you guys this is 20-11. I starting to see nothing, yeah? But still, I think we have decent compensation. So bishop d4 is not possible because of rook d1 and c5. No, I think it's possible. I'm just gonna take this guy here. So after rook d1, e5 is possible, and then queen c5. If c5 straight away, I can just take that with my bishop or with my queen. So e5 takes on e5 and then bring the rook to c8. The position is not that bad. I just blundered the whole exchange, just a really stupid way. So everybody's betting that they can draw against me. We'll see now, guys. Maybe you crush me or maybe I crush you. So this is another pawn for free. He thought that I had to take with the b pawn, but now I can take with my queen. And then, yeah, this was a good choice by him because now he can take with the queen, actually. And the position is so bad now. The position is so bad that I don't know. I need just a miracle now to manage to win this. Wow, another good move from him because actually avoids. Wow. So what to do? It's not easy, yeah? I'll just go king g7. No, he's gonna beat me. I just blundered the exchange on a8. Rook d7. I'll just go a6. And then he's gonna bring the other rook to the 7th rank, of course. And then I will just be completely crushed in this position, yeah? Okay, just b5, rook c7, rook c8. And then I need to resign soon. I need to resign, guys. This was a really terrible blunder I make. So still I'm just gonna play a little bit more just to see if I can trick him somehow. But it's not gonna happen. h5, I wanna activate my king, my rook at least. No way to defend this guy. So let's just try to activate my rook at least. I see some tricks coming. So I see some knight d2 and knight f1 draw. So let's try to do this. If f3, no, g3 is the move, maybe, yeah, this is shouldn't be a problem for him. So I'll just go knight e4. Then after king g2, I have rook d2. At least getting some compensation. Yeah, I need to trick him somehow. I mean, I really need a miracle in this game. But yeah, he's managing quite well. So he played rook b2 is the safest way of playing this in this position. I'll just try to fix the structure there just to see if I can do something about this, but I don't see any reasonable move here. So I think, okay, some knight f3 checks. There's some knight f3 checks. Yeah, knight f3 checks, and then knight to e1. Okay, king. He still got king f1. He still got king f1. Okay, so I want to draw. If you want to draw, I want to draw. I cannot ask for more in this position. Yeah. Sadly, yeah. Okay, he saw the good move. Rook a1. Okay, knight g2. I need to play extremely fast now. Check. Give me your pawns, baby. Give me your pawns. And now h3 coming. h3 coming. King g3, rook g1. Okay. Knight to g6 maybe. King f6. King f6. Now knight to h4 check maybe. So I'll just take this guy here. Give me your pawns. King e5. Takes. h2. I just need to play fast. King f4. And then I will just take this guy. He allows me. Yeah, he allowed me. Okay. g4. Rook a2. Check. Here. He's gonna give me checks like crazy. What can I do? I just lost on time. Yeah. Alright. He's really fast. Okay, good game. Rook, good game. I just blunder like a baby. So it's time to accept stronger players, yeah? So who was saying who can... okay, Drosiu is 2600 from Poland. We'll get him. And who else we got here? Let me just check. 2400 players. 2400 player from Germany again. A lot of German players. So... yeah, I was about to trick this guy. It was not possible. Okay, c4, knight f3. I'll just change the style a little bit now. So I will just go knight c3 here. d5, and I'll go d4 here. Yeah, probably I felt like I had some options. So this is the Vienna. The Vienna, actually, Jan recorded a series about this. Of course, I don't remember anything. I guess this bishop c4 is the main move, sacrificing the pawn, short castles, knight takes c3, and then bishop e7 is a recommendation from Jan. And actually now I don't remember anything, so I don't know why I enter in this kind of lines without knowing anything, even in Banter Blitz. I'll just go h4. Let's just get a bit crazy here. So after bishop takes h4, just knight takes rook e3 is my idea. Just aiming to bring the rook here. I think it's not, shouldn't be the maybe a good move, but all right. So h4, just trying to play different. So maybe bishop d3 followed by knight to g5 are some of my ideas here. The jack x is 2400 players. So yeah. Let's see what he does. Probably he should react fast in the center with c5. This is what he did. This actually looks quite natural. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to do what? All right, so I'll just go bishop d3. aiming to knight g5 in some positions, or even bishop g5, or even bishop c2 followed by queen to d3 and bishop h6. Yeah, people are watching, premium members are watching all Jan Gustafsson series. Actually, it helped me a lot. This queen c2 line against the Nimzo is extremely amazing series from Jan. Actually helped me in 4 or 5 classical games I had against strong grandmasters. I got a good position out of the opening. So, yeah, okay, bishop d3, and now he's thinking. So c takes d4 is a reasonable move, followed by knight c6. Of course, now he needs to think about all these little tricks with knight g5 and followed by queen to h5. It's always a bit annoying, yeah, because f5 is not possible. Maybe it's just possible to take on h4, yeah, who knows. But looks a bit risky, at least. After knight takes, queen takes, rook e4, and then bringing the rook to the king side, putting some pressure on the g7 and the h7 pawn. Yeah, that's my idea. Okay, bishop h6. Actually, all right. So maybe I'll just bring my knight to e5 and then my queen to g4. This is one of my ideas now. So, or even just sacrificing on h6. Maybe it's a bit crazy, but maybe I am a bit crazy. So where are you? So I have a friend from okay, knight to e5. What was about gonna say? Well, I cannot speak English anymore. Sorry. Actually, this looks dangerous for black. Okay, one of the ideas is to play f5 always in this kind of positions, yeah? Just to cut the action from the d3 bishop. And but it's not easy, yeah? It's not easy. It's not easy to play f5. It weakens the g6 square. Yeah, so maybe bishop h6 is a terrible blow now. G takes, okay, f5 was played, and then now it's time to think. Maybe even queen to h5 is really interesting. And also I see I'm winning a pawn. No, I'm winning a pawn. No. Maybe bishop a3. It's a good move here. Bishop a3, actually, I don't target the h6 pawn anymore, but actually I want to go knight g6 and take on c5. So it's not that stupid, and after c takes d4, I can just take on e7 and knight g6. Yeah, I'm just putting some tricks in this game. Let's see if they work. So now my idea is just knight g6, and then followed by knight takes e7, bishop c5, winning an exchange. Maybe no, you are crazy. Yeah, maybe I'm crazy. Well, what's the problem? What's the problem, guys? So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't see many things already. I had a meeting in Göttingen, in the center of Germany, of my job. I got up at 6 a.m. I gave there a presentation, and now I'm playing chess here like a patzer, probably. But okay. I see some beautiful ideas now. Knight g6. Queen f3, queen to d5. Yeah, still survives. But still, I'm winning an exchange. Yeah, I think I win an exchange. You guys see? So queen f3, queen to d5. Just take, boom, on d5, and then knight g6. Knight g6. This is my idea. I can just take and then knight g6 and then double attack on the rook and on the e7 bishop, even with my rook here. So this is some material we are getting some material, and I'm always happy with this. I can just take here. His idea is probably to take with the king, otherwise with the bishop should be terrible move, because now rook e8 is just very good, I think. Okay, he's still got bishop d. Okay, I just played rook e8, and after bishop d7 I have rook d8 still, and this should be completely winning, yeah? Bishop d7 is not possible because a bishop takes f5, taking the Facundo pawn. Bishop b7, this is what allows me to capture this beautiful Facundo pawn that is so tasty, has a curry sauce, really amazing curry sauce in this Facundo pawn, and then I will just bring my other rook to the e5, then maybe h5 and bishop g6 check. this would be almost the end of the game, yeah? And after knight c6, I can just take on a8 and bishop e6 check, winning another pawn, yeah? So this is my idea. I want to take now here on e6. He cannot take on d4 because later, okay, this is winning. So thank you very much for the game, the J6. And we got here Jenny, Cuban chess international master. Actually, she plays for Paraguay national team. She will be in the Olympiad in the board number 1. All right, so c4, the English opening, e5. Let's just go d3, then bishop g2. Let's see what she does, d5, all right, and then knight to c3. And I'm gonna play a move that is not normally played. This e3 move is pretty strange, but Nakamura played it, for example, in a classical game, I guess, and it's not that stupid, yeah? So now the idea is normally to go f4. Here in this position, looks like the d3 square is pretty weak, but actually now we can gain some space with d4 in the center or something like this. What is knight in Spanish? We say caballo when we want to say knight. Caballo, caballo. So bishop f5, interesting move by Jenny. Okay, I'll just go d4, and after knight b4 we can go e4, yeah, winning a lot of space. So this shouldn't be a problem. I want to follow maybe with b3. The rook in many positions come to f2 here in these lines. And then there are some discover moves with the knight on f4, knight to h5 or something like this. I would love to go e4 and bishop e3, but the problem is knight c4 is coming. So that's why I will go first b3, and then my idea is to go e4 and followed by bishop e3, so the knight cannot jump to actually to c4. So rook a d8, this actually makes more difficult the task of playing e4, but still, I think it's just possible. I think it's possible to go here h3 maybe, h3, or because e4 she can play bishop g4, yeah. And all right, what to play, guys? What to play is not that simple. Maybe I can just try to develop my pieces, yeah. This is always a nice idea. So I'll just go bishop b2, queen to d2, brings on rook to the center, rook a e1, for example. This is not so ugly opening for white, guys, as you might think. This looks a bit clumsy, yeah, but it's actually quite interesting. I employed this, for example, against a game against Grandmaster, German Grandmaster Ilya Saragatsky. Actually, he works for Chess24 as well, and the game was extremely interesting as well. So it's not that bad as it looks like. Yeah, all right. So she wants to go knight to actually d5. So let's be prophylactic and then just go back to with our rook to f2. Now if knight d5, then maybe knight to e4 is a really good move because we aim to jump to c5 square. Yeah, then we can bring more pieces to the c file. Maybe our rook to c1. So knight e4. Then maybe want to go knight c5 or knight to g5 even. Yeah, I think white position is quite okay. I don't want to say it's better, but I think it's okay. So rook c1, maybe she wants to go knight to e7. Then I will just go knight to g5, aiming for some e4 and d5 breaks, pushes. Sorry. So knight g5. Now the e5 square is not covered, so maybe knight f3 followed by knight a5 is interesting. But as I told you, maybe e4 and d5 is it's already causing a lot of troubles for black. All right, she still got this ideas with knight f6. So yeah, I'll just go e4. Let's see what's going next. So I just want to set another trap. So you'll just go queen to c3 here. After knight f6, queen to c3, and then d5, boom, yeah? Trying to, and then rook f6. Let's see if this works. So now we'll try even more. It's even more dangerous because now d5 is actually winning on the spot, yeah, because okay, f6, and then I will just play d5 anyway. Wow, this is an amazing move, I think, because now she cannot take actually on c because the c knight is hanging. I'm not so sure what's going on here. Maybe she can take, actually, I don't know, because then the g5 knight is hanging. So bishop g4. And now maybe it's just time to play h3, forcing this bishop back to h5 maybe. So yeah, bishop h5, and then I have no clue what's going on, guys. So maybe it's just g4 is a good move, bishop g6, and then d takes c6 is, I think it's a good move. Alright, we'll see. At some point I will have to remove my knight from f3. So maybe it's already... I will just play queen b4. 38 seconds, I need to be fast. And then rook e8, and we'll just play something like... what? I have no clue, guys. Okay, knight to f3, 30 seconds. She can take there. Okay, I will just take here. And then maybe something like e5 here. So if he takes on c6, then I can just take everything. And then play rook c2. Actually, it's not possible because the bishop controls the c2 square, but I can just take on f6. Give me your pawns, baby. 24 seconds. And then I will just take on g7. And then rook d2 is coming if knight takes b2, rook c2. And then develop my king. King to h2. And then rook to d2. We are pawn up. We are 10 seconds up. So this shouldn't be a problem. Knight to c5. Whoa, I was blundering a whole rook. Okay, and then rook e2, pinning the knight here is quite uncomfortable. Just taking everything. Just I wanted to take on g6. Okay, give me your... Alright, she's playing quite fast. She just wants to beat me on time. Not gonna happen. Alright, what's going on in the football match? Just let me know, guys. I will accept some more users like Roquero. Thank you for the game, by the way. Before I'll just go e4. So just let me know, guys, what's going on in the football match. I'm really curious. Yeah. Yeah, I see in the chat you guys are talking about Simeone, the Atletico coach. He was an extremely great player. He was quite aggressive, like more or less in the Pepe style, Real Madrid player. But anyway, okay. Let's abort the game. He's not here. Random guy is complaining like a beast. So I think I'll just accept him. But I don't see your challenge, random guy. Where are you, random guy? I cannot see you. Random guy. Where are you? No, your challenge is not available anymore. Alright, so let's play against Butterfly. Oh, we have David Martinez, a Spanish IM in the chat. The Chess24 in Spanish director. Okay, knight c3. I'll just go d6, just trying to transpose to the Philidor defense. e5, knight f3 is the main move. The endgame is nothing bad for black. Actually, I love this kind of endgame just to play, just to try to outplay my opponent slow. Knight f3, knight to bd7 is actually... okay, g4. What was the difference here in this position? I don't remember. So why was not good to play g4? I just go g6. I know you can take on g4. Just go g6. And then after g5, knight h5. This is considered to be quite okay for white, but still nothing so bad, yeah? So g5, I'll just go knight h5. Then my idea is just to go bishop g7 and then short castles. And then white plan should be normally just try to go bishop e3, queen to d2 and long castles. And you can put some pressure on the black center, yeah? Bishop e3, I'll just go short castles. At least now the attack, the white's attack on the queen side is not that dangerous, yeah? I'll just go c6, pretty standard move in the Philidor, just trying to push my pawns on the queen side, yeah? So basically, maybe he doesn't play a4, I'll just go b5, yeah? After a4, now, maybe, and just maybe, probably he would love to castle alongside, but it's not that easy anymore, because I will try to do some b5 break. I don't know how yet, but for example, a6 runs into... Maybe a6 is not that stupid. I don't know what to play here. I will just go queen to c7 just to see what he does. And Yeah, and G4. Okay, now this is where I wanna. Now I can play A6, I think. I didn't want to play A6 before he castles because A5 was pretty annoying. But now that he castled long side already, now I think A6 is quite interesting. So I'll just take here with my pawn back and then B5 is coming. I think I cannot avoid it. And then I get some counterplay on the queen side. And actually his king could be even weaker than mine. Because after b5 there are some ideas with b4, knight f4, trying to open this diagonal for my little monster on g7, yeah? Alright, let's see. Bishop d3, okay, b5 anyway. Just trying to gain some space on the queen side. Maybe knight f4 is my next move. I'm a bit always. I don't want to move this knight from here because it allows black to move the spawns here. All right, queen to d2. This is actually a nice idea. He wants maybe to exchange queens, and this could be maybe a bit of a problem for us since. All right, so what to do? Maybe knight f4 already. It's an interesting move. This is gonna be extremely double-edged, but okay, knight f4. Then if bishop takes, at least this guy on g7 will be the best pieces of the board. Yeah, this will be even better than the food that my mom's cook. Yeah, Doña Nicolasa. So okay, now as I told you, it's pretty double-edged because now h4, h5 is possible, but at the same time, now we have a really strong idea with rook b8 here, I think. Yeah, rook b8 is a really strong move. Maybe because knight f4 runs into b takes e4, and then this move runs into the same idea. So after queen takes, we can just take on a4 and then take this guy on b2. I don't know if it's that bad for white, sorry, but looks really amazing position for us, yeah? For example, knight e5, just recapturing with the bishop on e5, then rook b1, boom, yeah? Or f3 even. So, yeah, I think we are gonna beat this in this game. Bishop g4, maybe just to play rook b1, winning the rook, yeah? So I think, yeah, it's time to go for rook b1, forcing the king to d2 and rook to d8, yeah? Rook to d8, the king hasn't got a room. The king hasn't got a room. After king d2, rook d8 is just winning, yeah? All right, thank you for the game. Butterfly will get some more challenge. Spills user from USA. All right, so let's play d4, for example. Yeah. All right, so d4. Are you here, Mr. Spills? Okay, I have here my beautiful ball. Basketball ball. This is how we work in chess 24. We do nothing. No, we are kidding. We do a lot of stuff. D4. Are you here, Mr. Spirits, or not? I think he's not here, so I'm just gonna abort the game. Then to find another opponent. All right. So we got here. El ajedrecista León. So he is Spanish for sure. His nickname is Spanish. Yeah, he's Spanish player. Javier Jesus Reyes. I'll just go. What should I play? I'll just go c4 again. Yeah, I'm today in the spirit of playing the English opening all the time. So Drotsu is waiting. There are many people waiting, guys. Sorry, I have like 20 or 30 challenges here. No, more than that. Yeah, 20 or 30. So c4, e6, g6, I'll just go e4. It's not, okay, and then I will just go knight c3. My idea is to play g3 maybe in this kind of position. This is not the most strong system, but I liked it. I used to play it a lot when I was a kid. It was really easy to play the first 20 moves. It's just the same knight g2, short castles. Okay, this kind of plans could be quite annoying, yeah, because they want to put some attack quite fast. So I'll just retard the development of my g1 knight to see what she does, or he, sorry, what he does. If he castles short side, I will just play knight g2, but okay, just play rook b1 just to make him think a little bit about if he wants to castle long side, then some attack is gonna come pretty fast, yeah. So h3 just to avoid this knight g4 jump, and then maybe b4 or knight d5 even is quite interesting. I will just develop knight with knight g2. The problem is actually now I cannot castles because the h3 pawn is hanging. Sorry. And thanks to you, Butterfly, for the game. Yeah, maybe one of the ideas is just to go knight d5 in the next move. This is pretty standard reaction when you have these 2 pawns on c4 and e4. So, or even b4 and b5. Yes, gaining some space on the queen side. But knight d5 is also quite interesting. He cannot take back with the bishop, with the knight, because of course he takes d5 is a fork, and then it's pretty annoying, yeah. So maybe and just maybe g4 is interesting, or maybe, yeah, let's just play g4. So we force him back to f6, and then maybe even yeah, knight d5 looks to me like a good move after knight f6. All right. And okay, knight to d5, knight to d5, and yeah, knight e7 is pretty standard reaction as well. Now I need to think what to do. Now I need to think actually what to do. Maybe bishop g5 is interesting, or yeah, actually bishop g5 is quite interesting because we force him to take with the bishop, yeah. We force him to take with the bishop in this position. So now c6 is not possible, c6 is not possible. And then if he has to give up the bishop pair, then I think our position is more or less fine, yeah? All right, let me drink some water, guys. I've been talking for 4 hours. Bishop takes. Actually, this is what we are saying. Okay, c takes d5, h6, and now we're on time just to come to this proper square, bishop e3. Maybe now queen to d2, putting some pressure on the h6 pawn. c5, this is a pretty standard reaction as well. I think I'll just take here, and then don't want to close so much the position, and then queen to d2, short castles, and f4 maybe, just trying to open a little bit the position for our beautiful bishops. So king h7, I think is the move, or h5 is also possible. I didn't think about this h5. Actually, h5 is quite interesting here, I think. g5. This should be a terrible strategical, a terrible move from the strategical point of view, yeah. So I'm just gonna go knight g3. Now we have this beautiful square on f5, and then even boom, bishop takes g5 in many lines. Yeah, this sacrifice when we have this beautiful knight installed on f5. Yeah. So let's say knight e7, and then we can think on castling short, or even to play h4 in some positions. Okay, I'll just play h4 anyway. I don't know if I'm losing a pawn or not. I just want to open the position. I don't want him to come to g6 and close everything. So let's play this position. H takes g5, then knight e3, queen e3, h takes g5, and then queen takes g5. This looks terrible for black. Knight h5 is coming, knight f5 is coming. Everything is coming, yeah? So knight f5. And then maybe rook e8 or something like this. Bishop h3 is also interesting. I don't know what am I gonna do with my actually queen h5 I think is just winning now, yeah. Queen h5 because rook e8. Now queen h7 followed by queen to g7. Boom! Queen to g6. Many pieces for free. And then I will just go bishop h3. Yes, this diagonal now is really dangerous. Queen knight to e3, winning more material. Rook c1. Wow! Give me. Okay, queen to g7, and yeah, we're gonna win this game. All right. So draw gangster. He was the one saying that he wants to crush me. crash me. So I don't see your challenge, draw. I see your challenge here. And you challenged me from long time ago. So let's try to crash draw gangsters from Netherlands. All right, so let's play d4. d4. La 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 la. Okay, are you here, draw gangster? Just saying all the time in the chat that you want to crush me. Let's see what happens. d4, d5, c4, yeah? d takes e4, and I'm just gonna go something like okay, e4 is the good move, yeah, but it's pretty crazy positions that can arise actually. I'll just play e4, and then if I remember well, b5 is a really critical line. And then actually how it's possible that I have no clue. I'll just take here on c4. Probably e takes d4 is a move. Knight f3 was the move, yeah? What am I doing, yeah? I'll just sacrifice. I'm in the spirit of sacrificing everything now. I'll just play queen to b3, and then after queen to e2, just knight to e2, queen to g2, and then rook g1, and then develop some pieces. I have no clue what's going on. Probably it's bad for white, but yeah, I just want to play something crazy now that we're getting to the end of this session, yeah? So knight g3, queen g6, and what's going on here? Yeah, this was of course not a good idea. I'll just go knight c3, and then try to jump with my knight to d5. He allows me, otherwise I can also think on going knight b5, but this of course can be met with knight f6. Knight c6, he wants to go bishop d6 in the next move, so it's actually not a problem for him. So why did I play this this shit in the opening? This happens to me so many times, you know. All right, I'll just go short castles, and then all right, try to open files with f4, something like this. Yeah, it's not that stupid what I'm doing, but still it should be really bad. Should be really bad. Yeah, of course I want to go f5 now, and knight e4, and then almost winning the game, yeah? But he can take on f4, and then bishop takes f4, and then the position is not that simple, yeah? He's two pawn-ups, that all my pieces are out now, so king h1 only move, of course. And then what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? He wants to go knight d4, yeah. Okay, that's a reasonable choice. And then maybe... and just maybe, yeah, okay, just queen to d1 I think is the only move. And then maybe bishop g4 is his idea. He wants to develop fast, and then sure, maybe even try to castle in the long side. But still, I have a lot of pieces out, yeah. After e takes f4, bishop takes f4, and then I'm targeting the c7 pawn, the f7 pawn. So much action going on here, yeah. Just remembering you guys again, Norway Chess starting soon with commentary in Spanish and English, in Chinese even. No, not Chinese, but maybe soon. Bishop g4, and then, yeah, I don't want him to castles. I don't want him to castles long side. Queen e1, he can castles long side, yeah? I don't want to allow this. I don't want to allow this, guys. So maybe queen a4 check, bishop d7, queen a5. But I don't like queen b6, yeah. Okay, I'll just go. Not easy now to play, yeah? It's not easy to play now. What to do, guys? Okay, queen a4 check, bishop d7, queen a5, queen b6. What to do there? I cannot avoid. All right. I just try to check here on a4. Queen a4, bishop d7, and then queen a5. This is my idea. Probably it's just rubbish, as most of the things I talk, but looks interesting. Queen b6, maybe I can take on b6, then take on e5, at least get some pawn back, and then the f7 pawn is still threat, yeah? So now I still wanna continue with my policy of sacrificing pieces like crazy. Maybe f takes e5, yeah? b5 is a bit of a problem, but yeah, I can just take on b5 again, yeah? Let's just get crazy. b5, of course I saw this, but okay, what to do now? Okay, f7 is hanging, so he should be paying attention to do that as well. So knight takes b5 and then bishop takes b5. All right, this at least looks interesting, yeah? Because after bishop takes f5, bishop takes b5, he cannot take back on b5 because then the c5 bishop is hanging. So he has to go back to f8, and then maybe it's time to go for something like bishop e3. Bishop e3 actually attacks the d4 knight, and then after something like knight e6, we can just go bishop takes c5 and then queen b4, and after rook c8, rook c1, and we get the piece back, yeah? So rook to d8 is actually a good move, and now it's time to think, what can I do here? Maybe just bishop c4 is a really good move. Yeah, bishop c4, I really like it, because it's not that easy to defend the f7 pawn, yeah? So, Barca out of the Champions League. Wow, this is great. Not great news. This is big news. Atletico qualified for the last four. Wow. After bishop e6, boom! Bishop d4. It's working or it's not working? No, I don't think so. Okay, f6. I don't believe this. This should be amazing position for me. Come on. Come on. I'll just bring some more pieces to the center. Let's see what happens next, yeah? Not easy to develop anything for him. If he develops his knight, then I can take on f6. h5. Wow, what's going on here, guys? What's going on? I'll just play queen to a5. If bishop b6, queen to b4 check, or queen to a3. Queen to b4, I guess, is it's better. So now the king hasn't got a proper square, and he was saying he was gonna draw me, but I think now the position looks quite risky for him. We'll see. So now it's not easy to defend actually. Maybe rook c8. It's still possible. Bishop e7. All right, bishop e7, and yeah, okay, he managed to. Okay, queen to a7. I'm gonna do this move. I wanna play e takes f6 in the next move. Queen to knight to c6. I didn't see this coming actually, so I'll just play queen to c7, and then my next move is bishop to c5. If knight takes e5, okay, he played rook c8. I will just okay, I will just play queen to b6. Now he wants to take on e5, of course. Maybe it's time to go bishop b3 or bishop a6. I don't know, actually. Yeah, bishop a6 looks reasonable, winning a tempo. h4, wow! h4, he's coming as well. He's coming. This is getting serious, yeah? This is getting really serious. So, I don't know what to play here, guys. I have to be honest with you. I have no clue what's going on. I will just take on f6 and then see what's going on. After knight takes, now maybe, wow, this is getting extremely complicated. This is getting extremely complicated. Just play knight e4 after queen takes e4. I have bishop c5 maybe, I don't know. I think it should be losing for me already because I managed to screw this position even though it was extremely good for me, yeah? But all right. Not easy to play, yeah? I will just take on... Wow, this is a terrible move, yeah? I just blunder again. Queen takes e4 with a check, and then I'm just losing, yeah? Bishop takes a3, and then I'm just losing. I'm just losing. I managed to lose this position, yeah? Still time to trick him. Okay, and... Alright, I'll just take here, this guy. You give me the free food, I'll just take it. And then... the bishop on c4 is hanging. Actually, I don't see anything already. Wow, I didn't see this coming, of course. Bishop d6 is his idea. And then I guess I just have to play here. Sacrifice the rook. And then come to g2 with my king. Still some hopes. But it's not gonna work now. It's not gonna work. Queen to c4, it should be good enough. Okay, he is not taking my bishop. Then I'll just go king to d2. I'm just gonna give up. Okay, king f2. Knight to g4 maybe. Alright. King to c7. And then rook takes b2. Should be good enough to win. And yeah, it beat me. Queen g4, it's winning. Alright, so very interesting game. Thank you very much for the game, Draw Gangsters. Actually, you managed to crush me. Alright, some more users. Let's play some more, some 10 more minutes or something like this. And then just go home. I don't want to miss the last metro. Alright, so let's take the challenge from John 1927. Alright, so let's play e4. c5 and yeah, knight f3, pretty natural standard way of playing. Let's see what kind of Sicilian he wants to play. Thank you for the game, Draw Gangster, Anish. Really crazy game. I cannot see anything now already. So probably you were winning during 1 minute, then I was winning because the position looked really risky for black. Alright, so d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and many possibilities. Still we can go to a pelican, for example. Knight c3, e5 would be a pelican. Yeah, okay, so I like this opening too much. It gives a lot of double-edged positions. So bishop g5, the other move is knight d5, a6 is the move. And knight a3, of course, b5, just avoiding this knight coming to the action to c4. Two possibilities, knight d5 or bishop takes f6. I will just go bishop takes f6, followed by knight d5. And then I'm gonna go g3 here. It's a rare move, but it's interesting. Actually, I played it many occasions, mostly in rapid games. It's quite interesting. I will try to explain you the ideas. I will just go bishop. Okay, knight d7 is one of the main move actually, and then bishop g2. Now I had to bring my knight back to the action pretty fast. c3, knight c2, and knight e3. Of course, if black doesn't do anything, we'll get an extremely great position, control of the d5 and f5 square. Yeah, but normally black tries to react pretty fast with d5 or f5. Pretty standard reactions in the pelican. It's not so trivial. Now this knight is coming really fast to e3 and then to d5 or f5. Sorry. So rook b8, this is the kind of move that I'm telling you that can lose some tempi, because now I think, okay, this is the way to react, yeah? f5. Maybe I should have played queen h5 first. All right, I'll just take here and then play knight a3 with a tempo at least. No, black is perfectly fine. But I should have played queen h5. I just forgot. But okay, still interesting play. So I just go short castles and knight to d5. Still is a decent position. And yeah, bishop b6, short castles, and after a5 I'll just go knight to d5. Yeah, we'll get this if he takes on d5. Slightly better for white the position, but I guess he won't take. He will play something like queen f7 or something like this. Then I will try to create some troubles in the queen's flank. Something like a4 should be interesting, or first develop my queen by d2 and then connect the rooks. Maybe something like f4 should be interesting. I'll just go f4. I just don't want to be checkmated now this time. To suffer a checkmate is not a good idea. e3, pretty interesting move. And then I'll just try to block this with knight e3. d5 should be a good move. My idea is just to go to c2 and then to d4 maybe. Still, I think the position is quite okay for black. There are so many ideas with queen a7 as well. Yeah. Still some people in the chat, I guess. d5, of course, the idea is just to go d4 and then open everything. So I just need to manage some kind of blockade here on the d4 square. Maybe knight d4, queen d2, and rook a1, if a3. If I manage to do this, the position will be quite okay. But still, he's got a lot of time. He can play a5, b4, queen a7. This kind of active ideas. Rook fd8. Yeah, black should be more than okay here. Yeah. So which day of the week is today? I just forgot. How can be? I'm just getting crazy already. So it's Wednesday, yeah. So still 2 days for the weekend. Yeah, this is so terrible, guys. I'll just go. Okay, I'll just go knight d4. Why not? Then I can just take back with my queen. The problem is b4, of course, but still. So black marries there, draws you many users. Queen to d4 and then c takes d4. This kind of endgame, I'm not so sure what's going on. I thought it should be okay, but the problem is he's got some ideas with rook c4, yeah? He's got some ideas with rook c4, and actually I'm not happy at all with my position, yeah? I completely missed rook c4 in this position. But still, we should try to hold this. Okay, just play rook c1. He doesn't play rook c4, position is more than fine, I'll just play b3. Yeah. He plays rook c4 is another story. Maybe I'll just sacrifice the pawn on d4 with b3 and then bring my rook to the 7th rank just to create some counterplay, yeah? This is a really good move from John, who is managing to crush me to get a better position. Alright, so now it's time to think what to do. Alright, so really tough position now. So I need to think, okay, I'll just sacrifice the pawn, rook takes e4, rook c6, for example, just winning at least some tempi, just attacking some pieces at least. Just try to bring my other rook to the c file and then just play on the 7th rank. Yeah, this is always a nice idea. So, all right, let's bring the other rook to the c file. Maybe just play rook a6, bring the other rook to c6. But he also moves, yeah? He also moves and quite fast. I'll just take on a6. Now my threat is actually just play rook c7 and rook c6, just putting some pressure on these pawns here. And actually, I completely missed this idea again. I'm just playing again now like a patzer. So I just take on c8. I just take on c8 and maybe just go back. Just try to go back or try to run. This is another option. Just try to run with my pawn. All right, so looks like he blundered a piece, and this should be enough to at least manage to... These pawns look actually too dangerous. These pawns look actually too dangerous, but I think I will manage to stop them. I don't know how yet, but I will. I will. So bishop f3, rook f2, bishop h5 check. This is my idea. At least, yeah, I think this should be fine. So bishop f3. The problem is actually he can go d3. This is so dangerous. I'll just go bishop f3. I don't know what's going on. d3. Okay, this is a check here. And then maybe rook d8. Yeah, rook d8 is a really good move, I think. Yeah, rook d8 is a move. After e2, now king f2. This is not a problem at all. Basically, what I wanna do. Maybe I'll just go rook e8, yeah? Just prophylactic move, avoiding all kind of pushes with the pawn. e2 is not possible, d3 now is not possible. So I just keep these pawns over there without moving. That's at least something good, yeah? And then, all right, so what to move? I'll just go b4. The good thing is cannot move the pawns, yeah? All right, so thank you very much for the game again. Let's play the last game, trying to crush a strong player like Droziu. I see you here, 2600 player to finish the session, because it's 11:30, guys, and I need to reach home at some point. I'll just play for the Philidor. I'm not sure if it's a good option for the last game when I'm more tired and with a strong opponent, but let's just try. Okay, D takes. He wants to crush me on this endgame. Normally I like this kind of endgames. Let's try to explain some ideas. Now bishop b4 is quite interesting. Bishop s7 runs into rook f8 followed by knight takes e4. So normally white here tries something like f3 or something like this, or knight to g2. Yeah, this kind of ideas, or bishop d2 even, but f3 is the most common move here. Yeah, knight to g2. Actually, this runs into knight takes e4, I guess, yeah? And this is a pawn up, and then after bishop takes f7, rook f8, bishop goes back to b3, then knight takes f2 is a move. Actually, this happened in one of my games, in classical games, some years ago. The trick is, okay, knight take f2, and he has to decide if he wants to castles. Short castles is actually losing on the spot because of bishop c5. But now this position is actually quite tricky. Okay, after bishop g5 check, now if I remember well, I'm not quite sure, the move was king to e8. We are a pawn up, but it's quite tricky, the position. I don't know what's going on actually here in this position. So what was the idea? To take what with the king or with the bishop? Actually, I don't remember anything. I think should be with the bishop. After knight d5, I can just play bishop d6. Yeah, now I remember. Bishop d6 is the move. So after knight b5, I can just play h6. After knight takes, c takes is not a problem. So the idea is to go h6. When the bishop goes back to d2, we can play king to e7, defending this guy. So now we go back to, we play g5, and then the next move is king g7, yeah? King to g7 is the next move, and we keep the pawn up. That's the idea in this kind of positions. And then I want to develop, of course, my pieces. Maybe knight c3, it's a bit annoying. Wow, I completely missed this, but I thought this was not possible. Why this was not possible? Okay, maybe it's just possible and I'm just losing, yeah? All right, let's take, and then let's try to get this knight back. Wow, am I losing already? Maybe. Maybe I'm just losing, yeah? Okay, let's just try b6. Let's just try b6. And then what to play here? Maybe something like knight a6, just keeping this knight out of play. And then my idea is just to go bishop b7, of course, and after bishop d5, something like knight e3 is still possible, yeah? Okay, so I'll just go. I'm not so sure what I'm doing. Actually, I think I'm already losing. But what to do, guys? What to do? All right, I'll just play bishop b7 after bishop d5. I can just take and then see if I can get this knight back anyway. So something like king to d7 and then king to c6 is my threat. So king to c6 is my threat. Actually, I didn't even see that this knight is hanging, but still, yeah. I think I have to resign in this position, yeah? I think I have to resign in this position. King to c6. All right, still some hopes after c4. No, there are no hopes, yeah? There are no hopes. The knight is trapped. That's really bad news for us. And then this means we are gonna have to resign in the last game. This is actually a pity. I'll just try to bring at least to get this knight back, to play some more moves. Knight to b6. Then let's just bring this knight to the action. But nothing is gonna work now in this position. All right, b4 and knight e6. King c6, and yeah, we're gonna resign soon, actually. King to c5, king to c3, and now it's time to resign because bishop f2 is coming, yeah. Bishop f2 is coming. So we have to resign. Thank you very much for the game. Okay, since it's 34, my train is at 12. I think we have more time for some of the users that were saying me at the end of the session. For example, Blackmar. So I still have time for a game with you before my train leaves. Let's try to finish this session. D4 and then C4. Thanks for the game, Drozio, by the way. Interesting game. I need to check this this line again. It's a pawn up for black, but there are so many tricks, yeah? So knight f3 and queen to b3. I like this move. It's pretty strange, but okay, you can transpose to the lines after d takes c4. Now it's like if I play queen c2, it's one of the main moves. Okay, g3. Normally black develops its bishop via f5, yeah? Because now it's inside the pawn chain and it's not the best square, yeah? So queen to b3. Then just short castles, knight c3 and e4, just trying to occupy the center with my pieces. Yeah. All right. So for example, bishop e7 or bishop d6, yeah, but I think white's position is already good. You should try to play bishop f5. Queen to d5, of course, if we exchange queens will make a lot of sense, black's position, but we don't want to do that. So queen to d1 or queen to c2 was much better. Yeah, what am I doing here? So queen to c2. And yeah, now I just want to win a tempo with knight c3. Short castle, knight c3, e4 probably. Yeah, position should be okay for white, yeah? Blackmar, user from Germany, Francesco Cagnet. So let's just develop the piece with a tempo. Who doesn't want to do this, yeah? Queen h5. Yeah, there is no attack there. I don't trust the attack there, so I'll just go e4, then queen e2, h3, bishop e3, try to develop my pieces, bring a rook to c1, bring another rook to d1, maybe something like this. Yeah, c5. He needs to react, actually, somehow. So, what to do now? I will just play... bishop e3 is actually not a good move because knight c4. And at the bishop c5, I will love to go queen to e2. And then maybe h3, develop my bishop via f4, bring a rook to c1, asking some questions to this guy. Yeah, you are right, Draw Gangster. The position felt like I was winning that game, but yeah, I played like a patzer. All right, e5. This is a good move. Maybe it's now time to go for bishop e3 already, because bishop e4 is bishop g4 is quite annoying. I'm not so sure what to do here. Bishop g5. All right, let's just try bishop e3. Yeah, after bishop takes e3, queen takes e3, at least our queen is not pinned anymore. So bishop g4 is not so annoying. We can remove our knight back to d2, for example. Yeah, but I guess black's position is okay. So he went for bishop b4. Now I think I can just try something like knight to b5, but this allows, of course, this bishop g4 is a bit annoying. So maybe, and just maybe, what to do here? Let me think for a bit. All right, I'll just go queen to c2. This move actually not only defend the e4 pawn, but also after bishop g4, we are on time to remove our knight back to d2, yeah? This is my idea. Let's see if this works. And I also want to go to b3 at some point. Actually, I can see a lot of attacking ideas for black now. Bishop h3 and knight g4? No. So let's see what he plays. Let's drink some water. Still thinking. which is a good news for us. 11:40 in Germany. The country is almost closed. There's nobody in the streets from 8 p.m. Now I need to reach home. Let's see. Would be tricky. I need to rewatch Barcelona match, of course. I want to see how Atletico kicked Barcelona out. Yeah. Are you there, Blackmar? Still thinking? Bishop h3. This is the move that actually was a bit annoying. Okay, at least knight g4 is not that terrible, because our knight on f3 does a good job defending h2. So I will just bring some pieces to the action, maybe and just maybe rook e1. So after knight g4, our e3 bishop is defended by the rook. And yeah, we can think on going something like queen b3. Of course, black's position is fine. After bishop takes e2, I think this is not a good move, because after king j8, no problems. In the king side, a3 followed by g4, something like this. In some positions should be good. I mean, a3 followed by g4 is not possible because knight takes e4, but I mean some positions, yeah? And then I would love to use the d5 square at some point. Not that easy, yeah? So knight c4. I will just go queen to b3, and after knight takes e3, I can just take back with my rook, and then play h3, then try to use the d5 square if he doesn't exchange on c3, of course. And alright, I just take on e3, bishop c5, rook e2, I think is quite good. After h3, after knight g4, we can just play h3 or something like this. And then if this knight doesn't control the d5 square, we can use it. Now the b7 pawn is hanging as well. 40 seconds just for Blackmar. Yeah, I want to go, as I told you guys. Okay, now it's a bit annoying, this move rook d3, yeah? The rook d3 could be a little bit annoying, so that's why I'm going to just play rook d1 and then just recapture with my queen, so he cannot occupy the d5 square. And yeah, now my plan is just to follow with h3 and then queen to b3. Now we have control all the problems that we have in the king side. Then maybe it's just now time, of course, to activate our pieces. So let's say h5, h3. The queen is there a little bit misplaced from the action, yeah. All right, queen to g6. Boom! Give me your pawns, baby. Knight to e5, and then followed by knight to c4. Yeah, this should be good enough to win the game. Queen h6, let's just go knight to c4, and rook d8, let's just play queen to c2, for example. Shouldn't be any problem, yeah? Okay, bishop c7, now it's time to go e5, sending our guys there, and then queen to e4, centralizing our queen, just allowing knight d5 in the next move. And this is it. Alright guys, so I think this has been all for today. I really had an amazing time with all of you guys here trying to play some chess. I hope you guys learned something useful, and I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you are doing more than fine wherever you are in your countries, in Europe, Asia, America, whatever. So yeah, as I told you, it's been a pleasure for me. Hope to see you soon the next Banter Blitz session. Just take care, be good, and if you drink, don't drive. Bye!